God never created a boring sex.
Here I come.
Because that's like one of the major things that happens in marriage.
Of course now.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and
me.
Sorry, who would call it missionary
I
style?
don't know, except maybe we
Is
have
it missionary people? The missionary didn't come. They came with the gospel, but they didn't come with sex style. The truth about it is that it is a lie that good, healthy marriages come naturally when you marry the right person. There is no right person. Mr. Right, stop looking for Mrs. Right. And Mrs. Right, stop looking for Mr. Right. Most people get married believing a myth that marriage is a beautiful box full of all things they have longed for: companionship, sexual fulfillment, intimacy, friendship. The truth is that at the start, marriage is an empty box. You must put something in before you can take anything out. There is no love in marriage. Love is in people, and people put into marriage. There is no romance in marriage. People have to infuse it into their marriages. A couple must learn the art and form the habit of giving, loving, serving, and praising. That keeps the box full. If you take out more than you put in, the box will be empty. This podcast is designed to make sure that every couple enjoys their marriage and not endure it. And today, by the grace of God, I have my co-host in the house. I call her my official Waka partner, Margaret Olabisi Okoro. I helped you call your name today. Say you will call it again.
Yes, my name is Margaret Olabisi Okoro.
Welcome to Me and My Waka Partner podcast.
Thank you very much.
Today, we are talking about 15 common marriage lies. Lies that people have been told before they got into marriage.
Over the years.
Sometimes over the centuries. And then they get into marriage and then realize that it was all a scam. That's why some people say things like marriage is a scam. Marriage is not a scam, but the lies that you have been told, before getting into marriage makes it look like a scam. And I will never forget, some years after we got married, I have this friend who used to come around our house then and come and fellowship with us. He was already doing his PhD then. I just got curious about the fact that he was of age. I thought he should have been married. Because he was of age, he had a good job. He was a very serious Christian. He had, as far as I was concerned, he had everything to be the husband of a woman. And I was asking him that day, I remember, why are you not married? And he told me one of the biggest marriage lies I have ever had in my life. He said that you need to have 1 million naira before you even venture into marriage.
Wow.
And I'm like,
what are you saying?
What are you saying? Do you really mean that?
This is over 10 years ago?
Oh, over 10 years ago. And he said, I said, who told you that? He said, one of my friends told me that don't ever try to get married if you don't have 1 million. And I asked him, I said, what's the 1 million? What is the job of the 1 million? I said, what role will the 1 million naira play? Is it that you're going to save up money? And he couldn't answer. Then I asked him another question. I said, this, your counselor, is he in any way married? He said, no. I said, somebody will never marry.
They tell you how
they're supposed to marry. The Bible says, can the blind lead the blind? He said, they can.
They can.
But they will both fall inside a hole. I said, can you see that you are in the hole with this man now? I said, so let me tell you our story. That's for another episode. But when I shared the story of how we started, it reformatted his mentality. People go into marriage with so much lies. Lies like healthy marriages are conflict-free. People say that healthy marriages are conflict-free.
Yes.
But we are saying that you can't have a healthy marriage if your marriage is conflict-free. I've had a couple of men of God say this thing clearly, that they have never had any quarrel with their wives. And these are part of the things. It raises people's expectation to begin to believe for such things. And when they don't experience such, they run into trouble.
Maybe they've married a Jezebel.
They will say they married Jezebel spirits. It's just like one woman of God that came and told me that her husband said she was Jezebel. In fact, she said that her husband said she is possessed. And these are born-again believers, that she needs deliverance. Then she began to beg the husband
to deliver.
Do deliverance for me. The man said,
no.
My anointing is not enough to do deliverance for you. The man said, okay, so the woman asked, okay, so who would you prescribe or recommend? The man said, Dr. D.K. Olukoya. Then the woman began to wait. Then after some time, the man didn't take her to Dr. D.K. Olukoya. She now begged the man that, when are we going? The man now said, even Dr. D.K. Olukoya, that God doesn't believe in him again, that the man has fallen apart. So I said, can you see that your husband has problem?
Serious problem.
So because they were having conflict, because they were having disagreement, the man said that the woman is a Jezebel. Why? Because they have lied to him that healthy marriages are conflict-free. When two different people come together, even if they are foundationally in alignment, they are going to have different opinions about certain things.
Of course.
So there will always be conflict.
Always.
So don't let anybody lie to you that the reason that your marriage is not healthy because you have disagreement. That simply means we disagree.
Yes.
We don't see things the way, we see things differently. You understand? So don't ever believe anybody who tells you. And let me tell you something. A lot of the times we see people, when they come out, we don't see them inside.
In fact, when we got home yesterday, look at what happened.
What happened?
That I took your charger.
So you want to tell them about that one?
Yes. I'm just going to let it out. I took your charger, really, so that you can charge here if you need your charger. I didn't even know that I took it back from here. I thought I left it. Now look at that little disagreement. But because we know how to manage whatever.
Because we had a different opinion.
Yes.
It is not as if people don't have a different opinion, but they suppress it because there will be a trigger one day. And then the woman will do something that will be totally.
This is too much pretense. I can't take this anymore. And
when you hear somebody make that statement,
yes,
I can't take this anymore. Just know that he or she has been taking a lot. So healthy marriages are conflict-free. Line number 1. Line number 2. Good healthy marriages come naturally when you marry the right person. Hey. Just look for Mr. Right. And that's why some people are not married today.
Because they are looking for Mr. Right and
they are looking for Mrs. Right. Is looking for Mr. Right. And Mr. Right is looking for Mrs. Right. You will never find each other.
Never.
You would never find each other because the truth about it is that nobody is right. Good, healthy marriages are a result of intentionality and commitment.
Yes.
Commitment. That's why I like the principle, that I learned. I had it. I read about it in Anthony Robbins' book, Awaken the Giants. He talked about the principle of constant and never-ending improvement.
Can
I? Both of you are work in
progress.
So did you find Mr. Right?
No.
Have I become right?
You are working towards it.
Have I simple yes or no?
You are working towards it.
I'm working towards it.
Of course.
I'm working towards it.
Because if not, you will not offend me at all.
Do I offend you?
Of course, once in a while.
Do I intentionally offend you?
No.
But do I offend you?
Of course.
You too, you offend me.
Yes.
Good, healthy marriages come naturally is a lie. Lie number 2.
You have to work on it.
You
have to be committed.
Yes, man. And we also have to let people know that a lot of the times, don't just work on your spouse.
Work on yourself.
Work on yourself.
In fact, you are the primary assignment to yourself.
Yourself.
You have to work on yourself first. It's only when you work on yourself, you can see yourself clearly, that you can now look at that person. If it is something you can help the person with. And at times, you won't even be able to help the person. But just keep working on yourself.
The truth about it is that it is a lie that good, healthy marriages come naturally when you marry the right person. There is no right person. Mr. Right, stop looking for Mrs. Right. And Mrs. Right, stop looking for Mr. Right. So line number 3, I love this one. Marriage is 50-50, which means when we come into marriage, you bring 50% you contribute 50% of the love, 50% of the commitment, anything we do is 50-50. And when I saw this particular point, it reminded me of a song that we had. You know, those songs have a way of shifting our paradigm.
Yes.
Telling us lies.
What's the song?
It's not 30, it's not 70-30, it's not 60-40. Talk about the 50-50 love. That guy deceived a lot of people. He sent people on a wild goose chase.
50-50 love.
So anytime they meet anybody, they are wondering, why do I do good to you and you don't do good to me? Where is your own 50%?
Of the share, right? Because we have to put together 100%.
We need 100%.
You shared.
So I brought my own 50.
So where's your own?
In the marriage now, they have a table. Say, what are you bringing to the table?
The table.
And somebody said she brings her bomb. That's what one lady said. She said, can't you see what I bring? I bring my bomb. I bring my body.
So she said what she's bringing is more than what the man is bringing. And I'm like, in what aspect? Is it the money? Is it the understanding? Is it the peace?
Understanding has, and they would think that understanding doesn't count for anything.
I said, is it the peace that the man gives? Because I can see it. He's not someone that makes trouble.
He's not a troublemaker.
He's not a troublemaker. He's someone that even wants to help you to attain. I said, where you are today is because he gave you that support, leverage, that support.
That support.
Because I know some men will say, this thing you are doing, don't do it. It was just like a film that Fumilayo. In that, the way they depict that movie, the man was sick. That's the bishop that married Mommy Fumi Kuti.
Okay.
She was sick. He was sick. But he wanted the woman to fulfill the purpose.
Wow.
To fight for the women in Abeokuta, the market women.
To leave out that hand.
He never told the woman that he was sick. Even the daughter was upset. I said, Mom, Daddy, you didn't tell Mommy. He said, no. Let her fulfill.
Let her be free.
Let her be free. Eventually, when she won whatever she was fighting for, she won. But she said in that movie that she lost because her husband died of cancer.
And the man didn't allow his own inadequacy to hold the man down. So what we are saying is that that's huge contribution.
But you can now say, because the man is not bringing money or the man is not bringing, but there's this support.
He's bringing support. Marriage is 100 over 100. In marriage, you don't count what you bring. If you begin to count what you bring, you will never be able to marry anybody.
I'm the one that paid the bill yesterday, so pay
so
it
you
today.
pay today. If you think marriage is 50-50, you are probably going to live in disappointment and resentment. And that's why a lot of people are so bitter in their marriage. They will tell their spouse things like, I do so much to make this family going. And you know, when you say such things, you have destroyed your spouse. Anytime we want to scale our contribution, you know we are the one holding the scale.
Yeah, of course. So
we scale badly. Line number 4, your spouse completes you. They should fulfill all your needs. Your spouse compliments you. Yes, we know. But if you are looking to anybody but the Lord to complete you, you will always be disappointed because humans make mistakes. Happy couples do everything together. That means happy couples, you know, I don't know whether you noticed that some people, when they get married, they cut off from every relationship that they have ever had. And the only relationship
shut down their own life.
They shut down their own life. The life they were living before. They now start a new life. You understand? Because they believe that happy couple do everything together.
Don't you go to your
Happy
place
couples work together.
work together?
Happy couples go to the market
So if
together.
the man is a banker, you go to
Happy couples go to the bank. And these are lies.
So when I'm watching movies, you don't join me.
Because I look at it that movies now for me, 1 hour. Honestly, that's why I love snippets. Maybe like I love skits. I love snippets. I love because for me, the truth about it is that we are two different people. Oh.
Yes.
And people must understand that even though you are married to your spouse, it still does not take away your differences.
Yeah, of course.
Your differences. There are so many things we don't do together.
We don't wear the same. We don't do anko.
We have a few uncle.
Just very few. In 15 years.
You know,
it's
why
not up to 10.
It's not that uncle. I will never forget a movie I watched, and the lady wanted to make sure that she and the guy were always. The lady was richer than the guy.
Yes.
You know, the lady had the lovely
Oh my gosh,
so she would bring those clothes, and then the lady will embarrass the guy in very, 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 in the public.
In the public.
I will never forget this scene. They went to see the pastor, the ladies' pastor. They started attending the
ladies' church.
The ladies' church. Because the lady was wondering that if your church is good for you, why are you not rich? Why will I follow you to that kind of a church? And they started attending, and the guy was doing well there, the running around. And on this particular day, the lady embarrassed the guy before their pastor now. So when they were going home, the guy just, they got to the middle of the road, along the way, the guy just said, "Can we talk about this? What happened in the pastor's office today?" The lady said, "I'm not even in the mood for it." He said, "Look, we wear ankle, but our heart is not ankle." He said, "You always want to let people know that we are together. And the only way you do that is by giving me Ankara." You know what the guy did? He opened the door, jumped down from the car. He said, "In fact, to start with, I'm not going home with you. I don't want to go in that direction."
Oh, Jesus.
The guy now removed the Ankara and threw it. He said, "From today, let me wear what I want to wear shirt and trouser." Number 6, if you marry the right person, you will always feel in love.
Feeling?
Love is not a feeling. Love is not a feeling to start with. And you can go through times where you don't feel in love. I've met a couple of ladies, and in speaking to them, I help to point it out to them that you say that your husband does not love you. It means you don't understand what love is. You think love is a feeling.
A feeling.
Love is a verb. Love is action. Now, then I begin to tell them, look at this and look at this and look at this and look at this. Then they will come to understand what they were expecting was the feeling part of love, not the action part of love. And that is why a lot of people have been scammed. You see, because this person tries to show you the feeling. The person tries to make you feel all right. But you see, the commitment that comes from somebody that loves you, they are not ready to put in. So really, if you marry the right person, you will feel loved. It's a lie, because sometimes you don't feel loved.
Even when a man is not telling you, I love you. But he's doing things.
You can see this man doing love.
Because
you know what scammers will now do?
And that you must tell that you love.
Scammers will now make sure that 24/7 they are sending you messages. I love you.
I love you.
But look at the things you are doing.
You are doing. Thank God I didn't buy into such a lie. That if somebody loves you, he must tell you. Wow. At times they might not tell you. But look at what that person is doing.
How often?
You are not that kind of a person that tells me
that I love you.
But
when was the last time I said it?
Last week.
When did I say it?
Okay, when I said I love you used to say you love me on the phone.
Okay, it was not verbal.
No, it was on the phone.
So it doesn't mean I have not said it in a long while.
Yes, you've not.
Let me say it now. Okay. I love you.
But you do a lot. It is just too much. That you do things because, see, some people don't express by saying, but they express by doing, by showing.
So which one do you like the most?
I love, please show me. Stop listening to I love you.
That makes you feel good.
Open your eyes to see
I love you.
What he's doing to show that he loves you.
That's a good one. There's another lie.
Which one, sir?
That sex in marriage amongst married people is boring. Is that true?
It's not true. Because sex is not even meant
For people
marriage.
who are not for married. So imagine you go hijack something.
God never created a boring sex.
And you know, some of these things, they are generalization. When you say
course.
married sex, have you spoken to all the married people? Some women complain, and some men also complain that sex in their marriage is boring, but not all of them. The sex style that people that they believe is patented or permissible to couple is the missionary style.
Yes.
Sorry, who would call it missionary style?
I don't know, except maybe we
Is it missionary people?
Maybe we should ask Google.
Did the missionary
Google
come with a style?
I don't know.
Now, what even makes it missionary?
I don't know.
Okay, the woman is lying down.
Lying down.
And the man climbs on top.
Okay, so when the woman is on top.
We even call the other style doggy style.
I don't know.
You know, it's just funny. You see, because changing position to do something. Does it make it bad? For example, you are eating. You sit down and you are eating. Then somebody say, "Onje oni." You are walking on the street and you are eating. It's not good. Ma je oni mo.
Why?
Onje hamburger, onje rin.
Why?
Onje dundu, onje rin.
Why?
So now I think they took the same mentality into sex.
Into sex.
But even my mom and dad never told me a style of sex that is good though. And even when we're doing what's it called? Marriage counseling. That marriage counseling we did in your church was the worst I ever saw.
It's with that kind of people now. With the kind of people we had it.
The daddy was and the mommy was.
Yes.
And
if we had it with,
maybe
people like you and I now.
If
like Pastor K, them are coming for counseling.
We talk about sex.
Of course now.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. You know, it's funny that it was in secondary school that we were singing that song. And you married people that want to get married will come for counseling. And you will finish all the course. Your curriculum doesn't include sex.
That's true.
And you are wondering why they didn't give birth. You know, a lot of married people don't know their ovulation period.
At all.
They don't know.
They don't.
A lot of married people don't know their ovulation
and this
period.
Is something that we must put in our church curriculum for marriage.
Please, why are you talking about marriage curriculum and the number? It's not sex 101, sex 201, sex 402. Because that's like one of the major things that happens in marriage.
Of course now. Even after you are finished having your children, what else?
No, sex is not just for procreation.
Because that's what a lot of people thought.
For procreation.
And
then if sex is for procreation, then, do you know how many times you have? If you have sex, if you have children, according to the number of times you have sex, then one person will have like 1 million children. So sex is not boring.
At all.
So don't make sex boring. Spice it up. You have to spice it up. You understand? The missionary didn't come. They came with the gospel, but they didn't come with sex style. Don't let anybody deceive you. They didn't come without.
The people that are calling missionaries, were they there? Were they seeing the missionary doing anything?
And
it is just our.
Is it even only dogs that make love
like
by
that?
Standing on each other?
No.
Lion too does that now.
Yes,
so don't call it doggy style.
Even goats.
Call it lion style.
Even my rabbits.
That rabbit own.
Max. Oh my God.